I'm making this video also in English because I will forward this video also to the White House. I will make a group of 5 or 7, 6, 7 videos. I'll post on YouTube and then I will email to the White House because it's very serious and I'm looking for a solution against a dirty white Nazi gang stealing this land and calling it Australian. And they abuse every kind of justice and everywhere the boss of every section in the government is white and is Nazi like Trump. So I will make this video in English and I will refer you to review my last video in referral to the antisocial personality disorder, the sociopath and psychopath, and how serious could be a psychopath or a sociopath or a person with antisocial personality disorder when they committed a crime. A narcissist or sadist, when they commit crimes, these crimes are very serious. And if this person has a position in the government, it becomes more and more and more serious because he control everywhere. He can order, for example, a dirty judge to just not compensate or to assist. He can order a dirty judge to assist a witness to give a false evidence. He could order a psychiatrist to make a false report to stop a victim from giving an evidence. So if I have an evidence against police, it's very simple. Hello, how are you, doctor? We send you this man. He has a criminal record, and he think he's a god, and he think he's in attachment with gods. And please make a report that he's schizophrenic and he is not fit to give an evidence for the court. Abilify 20. I will show you now how a dirty psychiatrist sent a report to the court. This report is against me, and he telling me it's to help you. Here's my name. Blah 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 blah. I will post this full report to the White House, but I will show you the last page. See, he believes that uh, he has been given a special ability to interpret hidden messages meaning in the Quran, and he thinks that resulting vertical lines of blah 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 of Charles Darwin. Ibn Sharmuta, I'm telling him I have a verse which is mine, but he say this verse from Quran. So based on his analysis, he described antipsychotic drug, aripiprazole, 10 milligram, and then increased to 20 milligram. So if he wasn't understand what I'm saying, so he built his conclusion, and it's wrong. This man is a white. This doctor is a white Nazi doctor. He should be arrested for giving an intelligent person an antipsychotic because he's just not aware of what I'm talking about. These verses are mine. It's not from Quran. I posted on my Facebook page, and this is a photo from my Facebook. This verse has letters up and down as a fingerprint, and You can find in these verses, same verses, Richard Dawkins. He thinks that I have this meaning from Quran, and when you turn these verses, shows you Charles Dawkins as a monk. So anyway, this super intelligence is not for this rubbish, the white Nazi. They have an ego. They can't understand that someone could be more intelligent if he's not white. A disaster. So I will refer you, Mr. President, to my video in my YouTube channel, Super Intelligence video, Super Intelligence and Trump, Super Intelligence and Islam, and Super Intelligence, the true Super Intelligence. The true Super Intelligence and Islam, Super Intelligence and Trump. Super Intelligence and False Prophet, Super Intelligence, True Super Intelligence, False Prophet, Super Intelligence and Trump, and blah blah blah. So please, Mr. President, you have people who can translate what I'm saying very carefully so that you understand what I'm saying. I'm sure this doctor, he understands what I'm saying. He intentionally misinterprets what I'm saying for the advantage of a dirty racist police commission. So I showed yesterday, again, because if this is your first video, if it's first time to watch me on YouTube, so I will tell you again, I'm a victim of a psychopath detective and a psychopath slut who set me up and my friend and made a false statement to destroy my life. I was going to gym with my friend who was outside my house. He called me. He saw a slut walking. He turned not from the north to the south. When I get out, I just get in the car. I asked him why you go this way. This way is shortest way for the gym, as we were going to the gym. He said, I'm going to talk to this girl. Once he, before I tell him anything or ask him, he know her or no, he already arrived to the girl in just 5 seconds in the same street. And you can find if you review my interviews, I think it's that say I told him 5 minutes. He say no, 200 meters. He say no, the street is not that long. Bravo, the street is not that long. So in just 5 seconds he arrived, and he asked the girl, "Where are you going?" The girl came to tell us that she was going to Branch police station. A normal person, if you ask him, if someone talk to a girl, if she doesn't want to know him, she will say, thanks, fuck off, finish. Or if she want to know him, I want to go to the station, give me your phone number, let's have coffee next week or the weekend, and that's it. Very normal interaction happen here, normally, Australia. So either a normal person, either to accept, left, the sunny day afternoon, or to say no. But a psychopath, she doesn't want a lift. She doesn't want a friend. What she want? She want to use the situation to destroy a victim. To destroy, she should select a target to destroy this target. But I think I was lucky to record what happened and to make an interview with a psychopath detective. So after she asked us about names, and I asked her about her name, I asked her about her Facebook, She was thinking again to give me her Facebook or no. She was thinking when she came to the car, and she said, firstly, she said, okay, I give you my Facebook. Then she changed her mind, no Facebook, I have a boyfriend. Then we left here and we drove, and she took the car number, and my friend was texting his wife, and the next day we have been arrested. The charge was attempted kidnapping and punishable. So if you go to Google, you'll find still after case dismissed. Should be after dismissing the case, you should take this from the internet, or at least say these people have been found innocent. But this not happen in Australia because we are in a dirty white situation. They abuse the minorities. Coronalla. Coronalla. Hmm? Authentic kidnapping and punishable, you'll find them in Google. See, police have charged two men over the attempted kidnapping of a girl in Sydney Short Bunchball, 33-year-old, which was me, and the other guy. So I will show you parts of the interview, which shows that I am the last video I showed that how sociopath or psychopath was the girl. I show in this video how psychopath is a detective. I'll go to my channel to bring the videos. So the video on YouTube, the interview in 3 parts on YouTube. If you go to part 2 of the interview at the minute 7 and 18 seconds. We're talking about the performance and the show because Muhammad has a problem, so yeah, that's why I left this show with my. Was there any conversation about the girl? Okay. So since leaving Mount Lewis and going to buy KFC and having some coffee, what did you talk about? We're talking about the performance and the show because Muhammad has a problem, so yeah, that's why I left this show with my. Was there any conversation about the girl? Nothing at all. Did you ask him about the girl? We forget the girl. What about when you left the street? Did you ask? What did you talk about? You talk about the problems that should be fixed. No. I didn't ask. I asked him. He said no. I said no. I said to you. He's the one who said all that. Conversation about the girl. Because we go to African for this one. Okay. So since leaving Mount Lewis and going to buy KFC and having some coffee, what did you talk about? We talk We talk about the problems in the shop of pizza because Muhammad has a problem with the owner. I will show you today in this video that my testimony, the evidence which I give in my interview, is exactly the same which Muhammad gave, except that because he was married, he said that I told him I want to talk to this girl, and I talked to her, and I will go back, and he didn't talk to her because he is married. He is married, and he didn't want his wife to know that he talked to this girl. Except this, exactly the same. So I have a witness on my side. Plus, the evidence which I gave in the interview shows that the girl is a liar. So why he left the girl and sent me to Barclay Correctional Center to fight for my life. Someone in Barclay Correctional Center, Area 5C, cell number 2, Area 5C, attempted to kill me on the 17th of December 2012. So I'll show you now how this detective is a psychopath. As you if you listen to my interview, I was talking about the problems in the shop of pizza because Muhammad has a problem with the boss. Here's the record R02543887, which is my record interview. We were talking about the problems and the shop of pizza because Muhammad has a problem with the owner. When you say we talk about the problems and the shop of pizza, it sounds like we talk about problems which we will face for what we did with the girl. So this man is full of malice. So if someone else, not me, if someone else can't read English or not educated enough or haven't studied law like I studied law, he will never be able to catch this thing. If I'm a jury and I'm reading this, they were talking about the problems and the shop of pizza. So problems and shop of pizza, which means which problems we're talking about. That's why I refer you to this point again, to see how serious what we're talking about. It's not just my case. It's the case of thousands of Muslims in jail, thousands of black Africans in jail, thousands of Aboriginals in jail of the dirty white Australia. It's not just my case. I'm not the first victim of this monster. So when I open this case, I'm just opening a big wound. A big wound. There must be an action be taken against the dirty dictator of Australia and his dirty white government. So since leaving Mount Lewis and going to Brighton KFC and having some coffee, what did you talk about? We talked about the problems and the shop because Muhammad has a problem with yeah, that's why he left this shop. We're talking about the problems in the shop of pizza. We talked about the problems and the shop of pizza because Muhammad has a problem with Okay, so since leaving Mount Lewis and going to Bike FC and having some coffee, what did you talk about? We're talking about the problems, and if we go to the interview of my friend, which number R02543868, the interview of Muhammad Sabun. During the trip from the street to the shopping center, did you have any conversation with Sharif, which is me? No, we was talking about my boss because like uh he this now if you ah I'm talking about the boss in Granada because the boss is doing the shit. Exactly what I told him. He was talking about the problem in the shop of pizza because he has a problem with the owner, the boss of the shop of pizza. About my boss. And he doesn't want to pay tax and blah 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 blah. So logically, if we're just leaving a crime scene, will we talk after we fail to kidnap someone? Will we talk about the problems in the shop of the pizza and his problem with the owner? If you're going to suggest that me and him were agreeing to say this, when they arrest us, they separated us. They separated us. So we can't make any deal. We talk about the problems in the shop of pizza. How was Sharif looking? He was laughing. Laughing? Yeah, he was laughing. Okay, so now the detective is sure that I am, especially me, in an innocent. I just got from my house in my friend's car. He driving. He drive to the girl. He didn't give me any choice. That's if you like to say why you talk to a slut, which is normal in Australia. He asked her, and I will show you what the girl said. He asked the girl, not me. And the, plus the evidence which I give to the detective. Now, after we leaving the street to go into the shopping, we're talking about the problems the shop of pizza. Is that logical? Someone leaving a crime scene just fail to kidnap someone, he will talk about the problems the shop of pizza? So when you find that my testimony exactly the same with this, the detective was in my interview and in my friend's interview. That's why this point irritate him. He make the problems in the shop of pizza. We're talking about the problems and the shop of pizza because it's irritating him. He fabricating false evidence. This is called implanting evidence. That's how the dirty Nazi police is work in Australia. We see in the part one of the interview, at the minute 8 and 20 seconds, she told me she's Greek. The first shock for him, I'll show you, I was shocked. He's a detective. He said, no, I'm Greek. It's body language. He dropped the pen. Because it's a minute 8. This which was the beginning of the interview. So this was the first shock. So he now start to get doubt that the girl might be lying. After time, he will get sure. Once you have doubt that a person has committed a crime, you can't prosecute. You just prosecute to convict someone beyond reasonable doubt. If you have doubts, this means the jury will have doubts. So you can't convict someone who have doubt he may be an innocent or. Look at the detective. See? Drops on. Oh, now we start. We find a new story. She's Greek. The detective knows she is Greek because he knows her. He knows that she is Greek. Her statement doesn't say she is Greek. She just say her name. But when he fixes it like this, that means he knows the girl is Greek. If we go to the part 2 of the interview at the minute 4, I told him her name.
Is there anything else she does or you do? No. I asked her for Facebook. Yeah. What did she say? And she said that she has a boyfriend, or I told her it's boyfriend. I'm John. Yeah. He said I'm Georgia.
I'm Georgia. Asked her, I told her I'm John. She said I'm Georgia. So if we go now, the court of the dirty judge, Fox. Miss Fox, are you of a Greek descent or Greek heritage? 182. 183. Yes. The recorded interview R02487. She said, I'm Georgia. Here is a statement of Georgia Fox. I have never seen any of these two guys before, and I don't want to see them ever again. I still fear for my safety. Until the case finished and the case dismissed, I didn't meet her in the court face to face. They bring her on a video link, and while she giving a witness, she didn't even want to see me in the court. They took me away from the court until she gave evidence. Is that normal? Is that justice? She didn't want to give evidence if I'm inside the court. Why? Because she's a criminal, and the judge is a criminal. I will show you now how the judge and the police bringing assistant in the video link to assist a slut, a Nazi slut, to give a false evidence. In the court, we're asking the slut Uh, do you recall actually telling the passenger your name? No, I don't recall that. Uh, no, I don't. I don't recall means it may happen, but I don't recall. I can't remember. I will show you now. After telling him the name and Greek, in the minute 12 and 30 in the part 2, the detective started asking me, do you know this girl? That means he got doubts. I wasn't sure if she was Greek and that's her name or no. But he knows because he has a statement. So he has doubts. See what he will ask? So if you have doubts, Mr. Nazi, why sent me to jail? Because you will not never get punished for torturing a refugee or torturing one of the minorities. Because you fucking Nazi system.
Or you can disagree. You can confirm to me it's true or not. It's up to you whether you agree with it. إذا البنت دي أثبتت إن المشكلة على إنك تاخد تعويض من الدولة أو تاخد قيمة من الدولة، مش this is you should get compensation from the government. I don't deal with that part. I can't tell you that. This is the case. This is the case. I can't tell you that. She wants money. Well,
Psychopath. I was right to know. Why she lie all these lies? Psychopath.
Do you know this girl?
See?
Of course, no. Have you ever seen this girl? Never. I can't even describe. I can't remember. I was going to ask you to describe her. No, I can't. I'll help you through.
See? Do you know this girl? Have you ever seen this girl? And at the minute 14 and 17 seconds,
So what kind of build did she have? Was she skinny, medium, large? If you would say how many kilos she had, what would you say? If I see her now, I can't know her. Was she bigger than you?
if I see her now, I can't know her. Oh. And you have the name and the Greek heritage and going to Banshore station. All these evidences, and he still persists to torture me in jail and to abuse me mentally, physically, sexually, everything. Have you watched the movie Just Mercy? When they asked the lawyer to take his clothes off, how he was sweating and how fit. I have no problem to take my clothes off and to walk naked, but if that's what I want. But when someone forces me to take my clothes, it's a torture. I don't want you to watch my dick. Why watch my dick? Especially if you are gay. So you're doing this for an advantage. You're using me now. Torture, mental torture. At the minute 20, in the part 2 of the interview.
Anyway, you want to go? She already said she's going to Bunchwood Station. Where I said to anyway. She already said I'm going to Bunchwood Station. If she doesn't know Muhammad or she doesn't like him, why she came and said I'm going to Bunchwood Station? So do you agree or disagree that you said you want a lift, we will take you anywhere you want to go? No. You already said I'm going to control station. Why are you saying no?
She doesn't know Muhammad, she doesn't like him. Why she came to say she's going to bunch of the station? Now we'll go to the court. Mrs. Khara Fox, tell us what happened once you noticed a car alongside of you. The driver, when the car alongside of me, the driver spoke to me through the passenger window, the front passenger window, and asked me if I like a lift. Why he asked you? Why not the passenger? And when she said the driver through the passenger, so she know the driver, there is a driver and the passenger. So, and you say, yes, the driver. Beg your pardon? Yes, I describe as the driver. And you say from this position, you being, he say, where are you going? Yes, the driver. Yes, I describe as the driver. This is the court of the dirty judge, McClintock. So the driver asked you where are you going. That's exactly what I said in the interview. Why I'm still being tortured and being arrested instead of compensating for the damages. If you go to her statement, which has been made by the police, statement of the slut Georgia Fox, see, the guy in the front passenger seat isn't a bit hot. Do you want a lift? I told the detective I don't speak English like this. Now in the once the car alongside of you, what happened? The driver spoke to me. So this means you're making a false allegation against me بنت الشرموطة, you and the dirty detective. A psychopath يا ولاد دين الكلب. So I'm bringing all evidence so that the White House would know what we're talking about. You're watching the human rights everywhere. What about the slut? What about the Nazi stealing Australia? In the part 1 of the interview at the minute 17 and 40 seconds.
She was very nice. She wasn't disappointed or something like that. She was very nice and she kissed me. Goodbye, goodbye.
She kissed me goodbye. The interview of Muhammad Saboon R025436A. And you said that kiss was a quick kiss. Just 1 second. Yeah. I am sure because I saw. The kiss was like the statement of Muhammad Saboon. Not even 1 second. How long do you think the kiss was lost? Because the slut said I kissed her 4 or 5 times. مجانين بقى. Crazy. The slut thinking the more I kiss, the more guilty I will be. The more I kiss means you. What was your reaction? You're watching me? That's consent. That's why I told the stupid detective. Why she left me to rub her breast twice? If someone coming to touch your breast, you straight away. Twice means there's a consent. It's not a crime in Australia to touch the breasts. They catch the breasts everywhere. why they don't stop showing the kids these sexual acts in the trains, in the everywhere. If I have a kid, I don't want my kid to see a slut kissing a dirty man, for example. According to law, the dirty law, any two khara can kiss each other, and the kids watching this khara. So his witness is exactly like me, and he makes this interview before me. So after my and here is again. We'll see. Also, he asked her. He catch her breast. He kiss her like not like he saw no kiss, an air kiss. And if she was scared of her, why she didn't make any reaction. During the stage she has a bit away from him, but he مش عارف ايه after Sharif kissed her, he placed his right hand on her breast, on her chest. No, I didn't see that. Then he say him again. Statement of Muhammad. She's a liar. She's a liar. He didn't expect that you will make. I heard him before he make an interview. He make a call to a lawyer called Gilda. This lawyer asked him to say because he told her we are charged with attempted kidnapping. So she thinks the police is making these charges he makes this charge because he has an evidence. So she told him, say he asked you to drive to this girl because he told you that he knows that's his girlfriend, which is rubbish. I heard him saying this. So if I say like what Gilda said, she's my girlfriend, the detective will ask me what's her phone number. She's your girlfriend. Rubbish. I say what I saw. ليه ما صوتتش؟ Why she didn't scream? Why she didn't blah blah blah? Here is to be clear. Here is R02543668 Muhammad Sabon, and now the detective, the deputy detective, the attack of the level salvage, Mario. He signed, and now I have a witness, and plus I give him her name, return to the station, and blah blah blah. So why I have been sent to jail? I will make also another video tomorrow to show you the gang which arrested me again after I told him about the fabrication of a new statement after the interview and posting on my Facebook the detective and his slut and Lauren McCain. She's drinking a slut. Here's of Bankstown. They arrested me. I will show you tomorrow because it's a big crime. Arresting me again after all the, while I was on bail on this rubbish. They arrest me again. Ratakko Velizovich. On Saturday, the 21 September 2013, it said attended Bankstown, blah blah blah, because I was signed bail condition to sign report. Me has interview with Detective Sergeant Nathan and Abalone. Uh, you are under arrest publishing for publishing what? The details of victim on the internet. Which details? I'll show you tomorrow. He told me that you write. Georgia Fox, false accuser of Mount Lewis. This photo is not her, another one. So Georgia Fox is millions of Georgia Fox, and they didn't come to the court. So I will show tomorrow. They make brain damage to the victim. They arrested me because of a psychopath making the statement. I will show tomorrow that she made the statement with the detective Ratatko Velsavage, that's the Orthodox, the terrorist. And I will show you now Mr. President of USA, and this girl was prepared to say anything to put me in jail. The record number R025437, which is my record the interview. Her story needs 20 to half an hour at she tells. It was only 2 minutes. The story, which you tell me, needs long time. It was only 2 minutes. All this happened in 2 minutes. We went to the court. The court. Yeah, this is thoughts. Are you able to estimate the total time the passenger was outside the car? I would say about 30 minutes. The passenger was outside of the car. 30 minutes? Yes. The page 135. 136. So you estimate, let's assume that your estimation approximates 30 minutes. Yes. During this time, there is no one in the street, there is no car, there is no blah blah blah. Is a logical attempt to kidnap in 30 minutes? What we doing in 30 minutes? But because the dirty detective gives a slut a copy of my interview, and I'm saying your story needs 20 to half an hour, and she know we fabricated. So as we fabricating, and our fabrication needs 20 minutes to 30 minutes, it's okay. He was staying 30. You forget that the charge is attempted kidnapping. 30 minutes? 30 minutes, يا بنت الشرموطة. Is that logical, Mr. President? And after you watch the super intelligence video on my YouTube, you will understand that there is a Nazi in the police asking a Nazi psychiatrist to give me antipsychotics to destroy my life more and more. So it's like a brainwashing, so I don't ask for justice anymore. Abilify is very serious drug. So if he based his prescription on what he say, that I have found a secret meaning in Quran. I'm not Muslim. I'm ex-Muslim. I left Islam. Which Quran? I'm saying this verse. I made these verses and I posted, and I found that the first time in history we could not just read in one direction. We could read in two opposite directions, and still the words give meaning. And meaning in many directions you can read, and you have a meaning, which is the first time in history. So when you give someone antipsychotics, if I am in power and this happened to someone, and they make a video like this, I will go straight away to arrest the psychiatrist and to see who ordered him or asked him to give this kind of serious medication to someone. If he's not sure, he's given to the psychotics and the schizophrenic. You know how it's serious when someone depend and take Abilify and stopped it like suddenly. You can't stop, and if you can't stop, you can't marry, you can't work, you can't have any life. You're gambling outside your desire. Destroys lives. Abilify. Abilify take you to the crazy zone. So what we're dealing with now, we're dealing with a dirty government abusing every single human rights and abusing every part of justice. And he made in the report, I will explain the report also. I'll send you the war report, Mr. President. He says that I'm stealing because I'm schizophrenic. No, because after he's in court, I have no money to eat. I'm not stealing. I'm just take a turkey sandwich and a pickles. I'm not stealing. Stealing gold. If I am a thief, I will go to ask for the bank to give me money, and I take this money. Like everyone here, making and changing the name and take loan from the bank, and they run. I don't do this. I have PTSD. I agree. I have PTSD because I always have flashbacks. That's an induced mental illness because of what they did to me. So they should pay for their crimes. They don't want to pay, so they give antipsychotics, schizophrenia. And they say I'm stealing because I'm not stealing, يا ابن الشرموطة. There was no money in my pocket when this man come to arrest me. There was no money. I wanna eat. A thief will steal something, money, gold, something. He can make something, but stealing a sandwich and the pickles because you don't have money to eat. See, that's what I'm saying. When you go to review the psychopath, they have no any kind of mercy. They will never feel sorry for torturing me years. They will not feel sorry, but they will still come to arrest me for stealing. Not stealing. You destroyed my life. You stopped my life. You tortured me in jail. I was going to get killed in jail. You arrested me for Facebook while I was in bail, and I was developing PTSD because you give me bail because I was going to get killed. When you arrest me again, so you put me under the same phobia. Again in jail, I might face this death or get killed again. So what happened to me is a complex PTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic. So I'm talking about very psychopath. They will never feel sorry for their crime. They should be arrested. They should be arrested, Mr. President of USA, Mr. Watcher of Human Rights. I'm talking to you like how the Trump talking. I'm looking for the human rights. Abilify.
Affected a person's impulse control, and they completely failed to warn the public about these dangers. Documents point to the fact that the company had plenty of information pointing to the bad side effects related to Abilify. They oversold the effectiveness of the drug and kept quiet about the risks because they wanted a piece of the 42 million customer market. And they were wildly successful. In 2014, Abilify was one of the best-selling medications in the United States, bringing in more than $7 billion for Big Pharma. In spite of all the dangers that have been emerging in the public arena with this medication for more than 4 years, juvenile detention centers, if you can imagine, have been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars each year buying and stockpiling
so
Abilify
this man
so
is
they
saying
can
Abilify to
medicate
push it
juvenile
to the crazy zone.
delinquents.
So they
instead of
prescribe me this to
rehabilitating them.
push me
And
to
these drugs are only
the
increasing
crazy
the
zone,
frequency
so they
of the
could
very
escape
behaviors that landed these
from a
kids in trouble in
serious
the first
hidden
place.
crime. Always a criminal is stressed and want to escape from justice. As well as I'm making a headache, I'm making this video, you could give me anything, a poison, if you can, to stop me. So they're giving me this, and please I ask you, Mr. Riddle, to watch my video about the super intelligence and let someone translate carefully what I'm saying, because there's a big difference between a highly intelligent, a high intelligent profile or genius, or a schizophrenic. If we give someone normal a schizophrenic medication, that means we kill him. So please, please, I beg you, watch the human rights.